welcome to a very special edition of Focus Today. We're in our new studio, and we got a host of people this morning, and we are so delighted. And we have a wayward guy over in Tucson, Arizona. We just got to calm him down a little bit. Welcome, Paulina. And Paulina is the producer of Focus Today. She's responsible for all the great guests that I get to talk to. Jerry, every once in a while, it comes to the show only because he's looking for something to eat.
Yeah, you have any? By the way, where is it?
Yeah, by the way, it's coming.
It's coming, okay.
Anyway, but today is an amazing day. It's been months in the making, years in the thinking, and it turned out far more than I ever expected. But we are in our new television studio, and it's quite the deal. And we have a little bit of a...
well, do you want to introduce the guy who's speaking into our studio?
No, I don't think so. No, wait, anyway, that's Steve Johnson live from Tucson.
Hey,
how you doing, buddy?
Hey, it is good to see. I like your thought there. What did you say? It has been months in the making and years in the thinking, or something? You said it better than I did.
Yeah, it was months in the making, years in the thinking. You know, yeah. Well, we miss you, buddy.
Time you said it.
We miss you. Good to see you.
It is good to be here, and on such a special day, as you're going to elaborate a little bit more why this is a special day.
Well, as you well know, you were here all these years, we moved into an airplane studio. And it was noisy.
I was there the day it happened.
And we're at the airport. It was noisy, and we did that for quite a few years. And then all of a sudden, it just we thought, do we move again? Because of, what do we do? And I won't go through all of that. Bottom line is, our board and everybody we elected to, let's fix this building and make it right. So we did it in 2 stages, and this is stage 1. As you well know, this is where cubicles were, and that's going over where the studio was, and the studio now got moved into this place right here. And we started, we had to insulate, we had to put in air conditioning, we had to change lighting, we had to do all kinds of things. But one of my dreams was to have an LED wall. And I saw these about 4 or 5 years ago at some of the trade shows, and I thought, man, wouldn't that be cool? But this is what we had to go through. We had to build a wall inside the walls because that's the way this building was designed. We couldn't just fix the current wall. We had to actually add walls. And these are some videos where we had to, those are 21-foot metal beams and studs going up that wall. We had to re-insulate everything. We had to re-insulate the roof, the big air hangar door. We had to re-insulate the walls. Then we decided to build a new production or control room, and that's it there. And it all just took time. And there we finally got those walls finished and sheetrocked and insulated. And then here we are now inside the, looking at the new control room. And then this is the building of the big LED wall.
Yeah.
Oh.
These guys came in from Seattle, Los Angeles, and they came in from all places. They came in from Florida. And we had this vision to put this wall in. This is putting the window in the glass, but that was the framework of the big wall that's behind us. These are the panels that they started to install. This was amazing. And that's the control box that runs the LED wall. The big, there it is, lit up for the first time.
Wow.
Isn't that something?
Is that what you envisioned when you took over the station 40-some years ago?
No. I had no idea we'd be doing this. So anyway, Steve, that gave you a little bit of a visual, what's happened behind the scenes. But good to see you, man, and how you doing?
Yeah, good. Well, you know, you talk about the wall builders. I think that there is a group called the Wall Builders. You are the wall builders, though. So you know how to build walls, that's for sure. No, this looks terrific. And in fact, what we see behind you right now is that screen, isn't it? All the monitors?
Yeah.
It looks terrific.
Thank you.
Okay, I'll show you that.
I mean, it's amazing. It looks like somebody just built a set overnight.
Yeah.
We did.
Yeah, check it out.
Check it out.
Look at that.
That's the nicest Airbnb I've been in.
You know, Steve, we have a little corner there for the news, if you change your mind.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll keep it in mind.
Yes.
Can you see this, Steve?
I can. It's well, it looks like a black
Okay.
screen.
So this is a little panel, and
Oh, okay.
on the back side, see all the electronics?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. There are 336 of these in the wall behind us, and they got
That's
put in.
amazing.
And each one of these little, you can't see this, and the reason you can't see it is because we didn't want you to see it, but we want what they call a 1.8 pixel wall, so you can't see the little dots on there. And this picture you have behind us, yes, it looks so real, but it's made up of 336 panels of this.
Well, what you have is a state-of-the-art facility. And, you know, I think back, and we may be talking about this, but how the radio audience saw the vision for what you're seeing right now today and said, we want to be part of it.
That's a great part, because we got this TV license 15 years ago, and I mentioned it on radio. And I'll just give you a very long story, very short. Our radio audience said, we want to help you with this. And the radio audience raised the money for us to build the television station 6 months before they could see it. It was just a remarkable time.
Yeah, and we have a clip of that. But before we go to that, Jerry, you wanted to bring us back a few years.
I mean, we're you know, sitting in where we have come to, and as Steve mentioned, this is state of the art. Hold up that little baby camera. This is one of the things that we came from. When
I remember those.
Yeah.
You know, Steve?
And we were feeling pretty good about that, weren't we? I mean, we thought that, hey.
Yeah.
Well, you know what's really interesting? I was so excited because right on the side of this little camera, this is a camera you'd buy for your family to take on vacation.
Yeah.
I thought, man, we made it big time. It says full HD.
Full HD, we've arrived.
And we had 4 of these in the studio.
Yeah.
Michael Brown did that for us. I tell you,
You know, I got to, Perry, the interesting thing, though, is that camera was needed for the time it was there.
Yeah.
And it worked really well. I don't think anyone thought this is home movies. It looked really terrific.
Yeah.
But you've really come a long way since then. And I think the background looks wonderful. I'll be fascinated to see what you do with it.
And speaking of coming a long way, let's look back at where we have come from. Take a look at this.
Good evening, I'm Jerry Bilden. From the Dove Newsroom this hour, a plan to tax owners of electric cars for every mile they drive is now before the Oregon House. The idea is to tax electric and hybrid vehicles up to about 1.5 cents for every mile they drive. The current plan would begin with 2014 model cars, and opponents say instead of taxing electric cars, legislators should be encouraging their use on state roads.
Good evening, I'm Steve Johnson. From the Dove Newsroom this hour, a magnitude 4.3 earthquake at Mount St. Helens has been felt as far south as Portland. No damage has been reported from the quake, which occurred at around 10:30 this morning, centered 3 miles from the surface. I'll be back later with another news update. And join us for News Watch tonight at 10.
Remember that, guys?
Oh,
Remember that,
man. Yeah.
I'll be back with another news update.
Yeah.
But that studio, I mean, this video is from February of 2011, and that's when you first started doing your news updates, right? Steve, you were mainly doing them, and then Jerry, you filled in once in a while.
Yeah.
And that studio, tell us about it, Steve. Wasn't it in the garage with the rug behind you and just made up green screen?
Yeah, you're right. We had like Persian rugs that were the insulation for all the noise, because it was also in a garage. And in the summer, it was like 100 billion degrees. So there were times I remember where I had to put my head in the freezer of the refrigerator.
I remember
and
it
then they'd say,
well.
"We're ready to go."
Yeah.
And I ran back and did the news.
Yeah.
And we made it. We made it. But you know what? I am going to jump a little, guys. We have this countdown SOT, Scott. It's just a minute. Because, Perry, you mentioned television and how the Dove radio audience have helped us get on TV. In 2010, on March 4th, we went live on television. And we have just a few moments from that countdown. So let's just go to it now.
15 more minutes. Only took 25 months and 15 more minutes. We're pretty excited.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hi, I'm Perry Atkinson. Welcome to the Dove TV. Well, this is it. Today, the Dove TV launches right here on Charter TV Channel 18. And you know, the Dove TV isn't like anything you've ever seen before. It originates right here from Southern Oregon.
Love, marriage, and stinking thinking. The program that takes on the common myths about life, love, and marriage.
This is a channel just for you. And so, it is my privilege and honor to officially declare the Dove TV on the air. Well, there you go. You remember that, Steve?
I remember that night. You bet.
Yeah, I saw you.
And that was in a warehouse.
It was.
Yeah.
We actually rented the warehouse next to our
Next to
warehouse
our-
for
yeah.
launch. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was amazing. And I saw you in that video, Steve, running around with the camera as you always did. And then prior to that, I mean, that whole introduction that you recorded, you and Michael Brown put together a green screen, and you recorded the whole welcome to the Dove TV. And here we are 15 years later.
Yeah.
Well, we also are celebrating 65th anniversary of the Dove Radio. So coming up next segment, we're going to look back at the history of our radio division and have another special
It all
guest.
started with radio, 1960, November 1st. Then KDove Radio went on the air. We took it over in 83. And when we can talk about this later, but we started with the daytime station, and then now today, the Dove is 14 FM outlets across primarily Oregon. So on the radio side, that's what's happening out there. But I remember when she walked in for an interview, I had met your priest first, and he was wonderful, and I miss him dearly. But he said, I have a young gal in my parish that needs a job. And so I said, oh, really? Yeah. So he sends over Paulina.
Yes.
Yeah. And your last name?
Yemelianova.
And how many?
10.
10 letters in it?
I think, I don't know.
Steve, are you still there?
You know, I've never been able to say it right.
Okay, you're the only one
You're
that could
the
say
closest.
it. Go try it.
Was I?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yemelianova.
See? There you go. You did it. By the
I
way,
would call her Natasha. And she would call me
Boris.
Boris.
And Steve Best was Igor.
Igor.
I remember that. Yes.
But here she comes. She comes into the station, and you had an afro. You remember that?
I do not.
Yes, you do. And she had this big fuzzy afro. But I just knew we were to hire you.
Yeah. I think it was a good choice.
Yeah, and I thought, I don't know what you're going to do, but we needed you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
While Michael was kind of in charge of bringing the whole television on air,
Yeah.
You put me in charge of the morning show being transitioned from radio to television.
Yeah.
So we kind of work together to do that. And
Yeah.
look where we are today. Glory to
I
God.
think when a priest says, I have an employee for you, you listen.
You listen.
Yes, there you go.
Yeah.
No matter the afro. Right, well, Steve, stick around. We may use you again later this hour, but coming up in just a few moments, we'll have another special guest joining the station, our show.
We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back to the 4. Scoot over, Fox. Here we come.
Yes.
Well, I'm joined by my lovely bride of 57 years, and
How long?
I've been there 4 years, and it all started with radio. Boy, 42 years ago.
Yes. Well, radio started 65 years ago, and we have a little clip of that. But first, Peggy, welcome.
Thank you.
I know how much you love being on air.
I do.
Whoop. We got
all
audio.
me.
There you go. So do.
What do you think? I mean, walking in here, when you guys took over and sold your house and moved here, and here you are walking into this amazing studio.
I don't have
What-
enough time.
Okay. But what,
Sorry
like,
about that.
yeah.
The first radio station,
I think it's my microphone. Go ahead. I'll move over this way.
and the first radio station, when we bought it in 1983, You had to go to the back of the church, go up rickety stairs, open this crusty door, and then there was just a little panel, and that was our radio station.
Really?
That's what we sold our house for.
Oh.
And I moved my boys up here.
We had a
They survived.
Wow.
the studio.
here.
The transmitter was in the studio.
Really?
So you would open up the mic, say something, and close it because the transmitter made so much noise. So the studio and the transmitter were in the same room. Yeah,
I just remember when both of our mothers saw the studio.
yeah, that was.
Really?
What was the
They
reaction?
thought we fell off the edge.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
We did fall off.
Well, the other part about that was it was a daytime radio station, so I had to get up before sunrise, go out,
It's not unusual.
turn the transmitter on by hand because we didn't have remote control in those days. Come back and get on the air.
Really?
At the end of the day, because we were licensed from sunrise to sunset, then whatever the official sunset time was, set by the regular time.
You're kidding.
We had to turn turn the radio station on. I'd go out and I'd turn it off. We did that for almost a year.
Whoa.
But we moved like 7 times in Ashland.
When you first got here.
I think this is the 8th time. 8th move.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it's all been
Fun.
adventures.
Yes. Well, we want to hear more about your adventures. Perry, you mentioned the daytime, and before you forget all that, we did get it on camera,
We did.
the little stories. So here's a little bit of Perry and Jerry telling the story of the Dove Radio.
I was 36 years old, and my wife and I decided to sell our house and buy a daytime radio station. And we moved to Southern Oregon, our young family. We came to Southern Oregon. So I had to go out at early in the morning at sunrise, turn the station on at the transmitter site, run back into the studio, go on the air for a couple of hours, program the station during the day, and then at sunset go back out and turn the radio station off. That's how we started. And we did that for about 1.5 years till we were able to get a license to stay on the air 24 hours a day. After that, that was a huge move forward, but we were still a 1,000 watt radio station. Then eventually we got another frequency and another power increase. We went from 1,000 watts to 20,000 watts AM. And then down the road, which is so interesting, a pastor here in Southern Oregon, Pastor Croy, came to me and said that somebody in his church had a low power FM license. They didn't know what to do with it. Would we want it? So I looked into it and come to find out that we were able to take that low power FM station from 3 watts to a 26,000 watt FM radio station, and that's what we are today.
I have been at the Dove for 23 years, but actually 24 because I started on the Dove with a little syndicated worship program that I did for about 1 year before I was asked to come on the air. So 23 years on the Dove itself as far as working for the Dove, and 24 years total. My, how time flies. I started in radio because I was a worship musician. When I came in as a fill-in for the current afternoon DJ, I had no clue what the equipment did or how it worked or anything like that, because I was producing a program on the computer. I got my feet wet doing the afternoon show on KDove Radio, and Perry had patience and stuck with me.
I saw an opportunity to take the news and combine it with a Christian format. In listening to Christian media and radio, I thought, well, why should those people leave that radio station to go somewhere else to get informed, to get the weather and get the news, and then hopefully they'd come back during the day. So we created the format where we do a live 3-hour morning news talk inspirational show. It's a model that we've stuck with all these years and made us competitive in the marketplace with all the other stations out there. Quite a few years ago, I had to make the decision, were we going to be all Christian music or were we going to go into more of a program format? And I decided to go the program format because Christian music was still trying to find its way. It has a lot of variations to it. It's very encouraging. It's a big business, but we decided to stay more in a format that fit and complemented the news side of what we were doing.
I remember somebody came into the studio when I first started, and they were puzzled because they looked at the mixing board that I work on, and there were all these little Post-it notes on it. And they were looking, and one of them said me, and one of them said CD1, and the other CD. And they were looking, they said, Post-it notes, this doesn't make sense on a board. I said, I've never done radio before. I got put in here. So Pat Daly, who was the program director at the time, he lined me up and he said, this is your microphone. I said, hold on, Pat. And I filled out a little strip, me, I put on that. He says, oh, he started laughing. He said, this is your first CD player. And I posted that one. And I labeled every channel, so when it was time, because we're doing live radio, there's no pre-records or anything like that. So when you hit a button, you had to hit the right button, and I had no clue.
A lot of non-believers listen and watch the Dove because we're able to take the news and the inspiration and put it together in a way that they can enjoy it and feel safe with it. I didn't know at the time that we were creating a new model, but I felt in my heart it was the right thing to do, to create an all-encompassing media force that anybody could listen to and not only get current information, but be inspired and given hope.
Okay, I got to ask you something, Peggy. Yeah. I got stuck when Perry started talking about turning the transmitter on and off when you guys first started. So you had to do it in the morning at dark 30 and then turn it off at sunset. Well, how did that work in July when it's late, when it's light so late, and then early, you know, sunrise? Did you have to get up and wake Perry up? Did he make it every morning? How did it work?
I made him breakfast every morning. Yeah, those were the days. I was asleep. I don't know what he did. He missed, you know, it's like Jason and Andy, that he was never there for, you know, birthday mornings or.
Sure. You got to go turn it on.
Yeah. Oh, no, for 42 years.
Oh, my goodness.
Well, I always got up early, but we did that for just about a year, and then because we had this application in to go full time, and when we got that license, oh gosh, I thought I died and went to heaven because I didn't have to go out there and do that all the time.
Did you not get sick for a year?
No.
I mean,
I just went out. I remember, this is no joke, I remember getting a call from the airport that our tower light was out.
Oh.
And it was in November, and it was Thanksgiving, and it was icy. And I climbed that tower.
No way.
I did.
Oh, my goodness.
Isn't that what Art and Rachel
Art and Rachel were here. And I climbed that tower. My glasses froze to my face. I climbed that tower and changed the light bulb. Come to find out, I didn't have to do that. All I should have done is just sign a little thing that said to the airport, the airplanes would fly around it. But no, I was young and dumb. God uses ignorance to advance his cause. So I climbed that stupid tower in an ice storm and changed the light bulb.
Well, some things never change. You would climb it today, right?
You're right. Yeah.
Well, on behalf of all of us, thank you for selling your house and coming here.
Yeah.
What an adventure.
It has been an adventure.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you brought your boys.
Yeah.
You
poor
approved
kids.
it. Well, I think they turned out okay. There's one over there with the camera running around, always. But yeah, congratulations.
Thank you. When I saw that clip of you at the radio station, you guys can't believe when he was on the air, live, doing his music. It was like he had a stadium of people. He's looking at just a glass into the production room, but his face, his voice, he was into the music, into the audience.
He's in there jumping around.
Right, yeah.
He's in there jumping around.
And what was the gal's name that she came in and was she the news, Holly? It was Tamara's friend.
Oh.
Hope,
yes.
Hope would come in.
Gosh, that was so
This
fun.
on radio, she would have curlers in her hair and no makeup, and through the show, she'd put on eyelashes, and he's describing this on the air. So by the time she left,
She did the news. She came in to read the news. I mean, it looked like she just literally got out of bed.
Oh, no
It
kidding.
was early in the morning.
Oh, man.
So between news breaks, she'd go in there and she'd put one eye on and half a hair. come back out. You know, by the end of the show, she was made up to go to work.
Oh, that's great.
What did she do? She wasn't there full time.
No.
Okay.
She,
She just came in.
She was like Steve Johnson. She could read anything cold.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
She
Oh,
was
well.
preparing you for the times you'll be working with a station full of girls.
Yeah. Well, come to think of it, Steve, I don't know if you're still there, but if he is, come to think of it, we should have got Steve hooked up with Hope.
Well,
Steve?
Okay.
We have hope, Steve.
I don't know if there was much difference between Hope and me, though, because I'd come in with my curlers in my hair.
Well, you could have been curling together all these years.
Let me say this. How did we get Steve? I got a few minutes left. There was a time in our history where we hooked up with Family Life Radio out of Tucson, Arizona. And I went down and became vice president of broadcasting down there, and it was an interesting time, let's put it that way. And that's where we got to know Kevin Lehman so well. And I met Steve, and I told Peggy, I said, there's a guy I'd like to hire someday. And the long story short is, the Lord speaks to me in weird ways, but how can I say this without giving away too much? The Lord led me to bring the Dove back to Oregon ownership. And we did that, and it was a miracle, unbelievable. To this day, I don't know how it all happened, but it did. And I said, the only person I'd want to take out of Family Life Radio with me would be Steve Johnson. I don't think I no sooner said that, and he called. He said, you got any job openings up there? And I said, you start Monday. And that's how we got Steve. And he faithfully served here for 18 years. So, Steve, we miss you dearly, buddy.
Yeah, well, you know, and this isn't just to pat each other on the back, but you're the one I wanted to work for. So I appreciate your comments about me, but that's why I called you, because I thought, you know what, this guy sees the vision for the future, not thinking it would go with LED screens behind you and all the rest, but that you knew how to look forward to what the trends are and to stay with them. So I thank you again.
Yeah, well, you came with your motorcycle and your elk.
Made a lot of noise.
It made a lot of noise. Okay. Well.
All right. Well, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, another special guest joining this show on the very special day.
Well, welcome back to, we're going to call it the 4. We did a little musical chairs. I'm delighted to have sitting next to me the former general manager of the Dove. Sue Schneider's with us, and gosh, she started
about 91.
You want to talk about her afro?
Yeah.
Oh, she did have one. Yeah.
We all did.
Yeah, she did have one. It was, you know, I've been through those seasons of your life, so.
He's been through your season.
I was just a child when I started working.
So she officially retired almost 2 years ago. And how many years?
32, I think.
32.
Yeah.
Yeah, she goes way back. In fact, there's nothing you can't do in this place and in this ministry that doesn't have Sue's fingerprints on it. And
Is that a good thing?
it is. You've been through the storms with us. You've been through the good times, the bad times, the hard times, the fun times. And we miss you dearly, but I'm so happy for you for finally living your life, which is great. But what do you think of this?
This is incredible. I remember when you first started talking about doing TV, and you said once we push that button, man, it's
life will change.
Yeah, took over, and you had to keep at it, and you don't ever stop. I don't know how many sets we've had. I mean, Peggy's had to go through all the radio stations, but every time I come in here, it seemed like he was trying to change the set, and I'd be like, We just put it together. We just bought this. We just did that. And then he's changing it all again. Well, this is, wow.
One of the...
She was the hawk. She's the money hawk. And was going, well, you just did that. And you spent so much money and all this and that. Well, you actually calmed me down. But
Slowed you down a little, maybe.
Eventually, we got it done.
Yeah.
I was texting our control room because we're still working on the communication, letting them know what's next. So we are going to, so you mentioned a lot of sets, and Sue has been here through a lot of changes, the change of the addresses, and then also the studios and the sets. And one person who was there as well, instrumental in getting us on TV, was Michael Brown, remember? And if it wasn't for him, I don't think any of this would happen. It's very early in the morning right now in New Zealand, so we're not going to have him live, but he did record a very special video greeting for all of us.
Hey Perry, good morning. Wow, what an incredible occasion. This is Michael Brown just dialing in from New Zealand to say a huge congratulations to you and the whole Dove team for what you have launched and debuted today. Just like absolutely incredible to see this new studio and the next evolution of what the Dove is and is becoming is just absolutely incredible. Perry, you will know, but maybe not all of your listeners and viewers will know that I was with the team there for a short number of years, way back in 2009, when I got this email or phone call from you, and you said, Michael, we've got this radio station, but we've just got a TV license. We need, maybe you could help us do a TV station. Well, we just packed our bags and came on over, but really the incredible work is what you did in your heart and your willingness to be open to just the incredible new opportunities. And that in 2009, that really was the birth of something very special and very new. The launch, you had this idea to take what was, incredible morning radio show, saying, actually, could it also be a television show as well? Well, it had never been done before. No one in their right mind had considered actually you could do radio and TV at the same time. But I want to say thank you to you for being brave enough to saying yes. I remember those very first days once the Dove TV launched on air, and you said, well, could we look at doing the Dove, the morning show, and making that a TV show? Well, what did you have? Well, it was just a very small radio studio, a very functional radio studio. But it was just a well-padded box, the size of a shoebox, or probably more like a wardrobe, with a window. But there certainly wasn't room for cameras, and there absolutely wasn't room to put any camera people, let alone lighting as well. So I remember the very next step was you said, well, maybe we should take over the lunchroom. And I know that your office was very promptly vacated and empty as well, as it made way for wanting to move in all of these cameras and these tables and these computers. And it was really quite something special. I remember there were just cables everywhere. They were down at Lowe's getting things and just screwing things into the wall and saying, well, how do we light this? How do we make it happen? But it happened. And I think what surprised me and amazed me the most, that what began as a radio show that was also televised on television, in a very few months became something very unique and not done anywhere else. I don't know that it's been done, at that time hadn't been done in the world, was to become a television show that was also broadcast on radio. And I just love your heart and your vision, just to be able to see and believe that God would use this media to impact in the media of the day. And it was very special. Your producer was saying to me, well, maybe Michael, you could talk about today some of the challenges and the successes along the way. I know there were challenges, but none of them were really challenges to me. What I see is the success, and the belief in that idea of taking a format, taking the content of the Dove, the heartbeat of the Dove, and turning it into something very special that would reach hearts and homes and television and radio where people are at. And of course, today, theDove is absolutely incredible. The awards that it has won through the NRB as Television Station of the Year. And it's not actually about the award or the accolade, but I think it's about what that represents and the acknowledgement that theDove truly has been a pioneer in leading the way of what it means to do Christian broadcasting in America. And so, as today you celebrate the launch of this brand new studio, I want to say, well done. Congratulations. More than ever, Christian broadcasting is needed, and more than ever, the ability to be able to communicate to hearts and homes in the relevant way in which people are engaging with media. And as media and technology continues to evolve, I am just so proud of what this new studio means in terms of the evolution of becoming more than just radio and more than just television. It's the video and it's those stories transformed into the hearts, however and wherever people connect with online and whatever media on their phone or however they engage, to be able to truly be on the forefront of communicating. And more than ever, the ability to be able to tell the truth, to be able to share the gospel, but to be able to proclaim it with heart. So Perry, from me here in little old New Zealand, thank you for the opportunity to have been a small part of the beginning of theDove. We're so proud. We champion and we cheer you on from here in New Zealand and around the world to be able to see the impact of this ministry of theDove. And to those who support and continue to faithfully support theDove, thank you for your support of the ministry. Thank you for your belief to be able to fund this new studio and your belief in what it will become. So for today, congratulations, Perry, and to the whole team, well done.
Wow. That's very touching. Let me say this. We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Michael. He was at the NRB, I was at the NRB. We happened to be at the airport at the same time, catching flights home. And I had been to New Zealand on several occasions because I sit on the United Christian Broadcasters Board, and I got to know him a little bit. We're sitting there in the airport ready for our flights, and I leaned over to him and I said, would you ever consider moving to America? And he kind of laughed. Then when he got back, I made that phone call, we chit-chatted, he calls me back and he said, God's calling us to come help you put the station on the air. And Sue, you remember this. They show up with their family at the airport. They sold everything. They only had their suitcases, and in one of their suitcases, they actually had their cookware, their frying pan and their utensils.
Because everything was coming over on the ship.
Yeah. And so they came, and I knew nothing about wires and cameras and lights. We went to Lowe's and bought the cheap stuff and hung it from the ceiling. Remember that? Yeah. And this little camera, Michael bought 4 of these, and one was literally in the doorway. He had to have a wide shot. It was in the doorway. Yeah, and the set's way over here. Well, I say way over there, no further from here to you. But he did the whole thing. He wired the whole thing. He wired everything and put it all together and launched it. And then the Lord called them back. And today, Michael is #2 of Rima Broadcasting in New Zealand, which is the largest Christian network in the entire country. They run a network of radio stations, and they have Shine TV, which is on satellite that covers the whole country. So he's #2 there, and God's using him in a mighty way. So
speaking of God,
I miss him.
Perry, isn't it amazing? You know what hindsight does. Oftentimes we see how mighty God works in our lives by looking back. And as you've talked with, the people that God lined you up with, Steve, Paulina, Michael, under the oversight of Sue. And, of course, not leaving out, one of the most important elements, the backing of the supporters of theDove, the people that actually got this done. It's amazing.
It is. It's a story that we're telling today, but when this came about, and I can say this to our team, and I told them this morning when we were having a prayer before we went on the air, but I can say this to our engineering guys. They were so far ahead of me on this. I had no idea what they were doing until about the last 3 days, and I saw what they were doing. But when you look at that control room, and you look at this behind, and then you look at this wall, It's remarkable what these gentlemen have done. And so here we sit in the state of an art of a studio. So it's far beyond anything I thought.
Well, and Michael, when he was here, I don't know, was it his idea or your idea to bring interns and to start an internship program? But he was so instrumental in training those guys, because one of them now is our sound engineer, Dan, and he's been here all these years, thanks to Michael, because he was so good at not only doing things that nobody understood, but also training people to make sure that this can be passed on. So thank you, Michael, and all of you for sticking to it.
Place.
Yeah. Had a few romances,
you know, so
marriages.
Do you remember
Children.
There was one, Anna, she wanted to work at the Dove, and she kept bringing us things to eat. She would bake things, and she'd bring them in. Remember that? She'd bring all the stuff in. And then she looks across, and there's Dan. Okay, well then one day, Steve and the crew, I don't know, Steve, do you remember? Are you still there?
I'm still here.
Do you remember when you guys would take off and walk over to Human Being to get coffee?
Every morning after the show, we had to do it.
Yeah, you had to do it. Okay, well, especially with you leading. And then all of a sudden, this little group of people went over, and they'd have coffee, and they'd come back. Okay, and then a couple of weeks later, two of them were holding hands.
Yeah.
And they're coming
Yeah,
back.
it wasn't me. It was.
It wasn't Stephen Daniel.
And
Well, every once in a while.
And a
yeah.
couple months later, I'm doing their wedding.
Yeah.
And here we are 4 kids later.
Now we just need to find Hope and connect her with Steve.
I think he's missed that boat. I think Hope's moved on.
That train left the station.
Oh, look at the old mug you still have.
Well, it was nice to
I
hear.
have one story to tell you that comes back if we have just a couple minutes. When I was in Tucson working, and you were all in Medford, of course, if we had a problem, because I was in the satellite area, who was the person we called? Sue.
Yeah.
She didn't have any qualifications to say that she knew how to do radio or how to work the automation, but I knew that if we worked with her, we'd get it fixed. And we did every single time.
She's
Sue was a go-to person for that. Yeah. Remember that, Sue? Remember me calling you? And you kept saying, I don't know anything about this. I said, Sue, you fixed it every single time. We're going to do it again.
Well, and one time, there was only like 3 of us in the whole office, and you were the anchor guy, sat behind everything. And then we had our news person, and you got sick. And I ended up, I don't know if you remember, I ran the morning show.
Oh,
And
wow.
I think we brought in Paul, maybe Paul Coughlin or somebody to do the news, because I think that might have been before Pat. But I was, and same thing with Jerry. I mean, I had notes everywhere. I was just trying to keep us on the air. And
I didn't know.
Yeah.
We would have used you later when we were short-staffed.
I did not learn from my grandma, who said, don't learn how to do certain things, because otherwise you're going to have to do them.
But you know what you got really good at? I'd be working at my desk, and all of a sudden I'd hear this voice piercing through the darkness, dead air! And the radio was off.
I know, I still did it. I called poor Dan the other day, and I said, you guys know you're running
Dead air. And then I would get up and run. And you know what? I still hear that once in a while in my dreams.
Good.
She wasn't even yelling. She was whispering.
Yeah, I know.
Well, she had a term that I still hear in my head. I would say something, she'd go, what for?
Really?
Yeah. We're going to do this. What for? We're going to change the set. What for?
Oh, that's great. Oh, man.
We miss you, Sue.
Yes.
I enjoy sleeping in things.
Me too. All right. Well, thank you for joining us today. Thank you for coming in this early. Yes,
Very
it is.
exciting.
It is. Well, we're going to take another break, and when we come back, we'll have Perry pray and thank and talk a little more.
Right.
Yeah, it's your segment next.
welcome back, and a special day here at the Dove as we have launched into our new TV studio. I got to change my mic. I just remembered because I was getting feedback from the. This shows you how low budget we are. There we go.
You know what? That's getting ready to fly out the window with what's been going on around here. That low budget thing.
Well, you know, I have to say, folks. By the way, let me just say this to our viewers and listeners. We are going to have an open house. We'll announce that a little bit later. We still have a few things to do here, but this has been done because of you and your generosity and your belief in what God's called us to do in Christian media. And this is a result of your support. And so we're going to have an open house where you can come in and literally see it for yourself. It's pretty amazing. And as this thing was coming together, you kind of have an idea in your mind, and then all of a sudden they start putting this wall up, and my whole thinking changed, you know. And as Sue said earlier, once we pushed the button on TV, it was a new commitment.
Yeah.
Well, today, when we launched this set and with this piece of equipment behind us here, it's engaged a whole new level of activity around here. And this room has been completely modified. We'll show you later, but I don't think there's a television studio in America where you can do a television show. You have a first-class kitchen over here where you can hold events here, and we can do small seminars here.
Oh, yeah.
And that's one of the reasons why we wanted this equipment, so that we can do more than just television. And so in time, you'll be able to see the whole thing. So we'll let you know when there's an open house. And it'll be coming up shortly. We'll announce it so you can come by and take a look.
Are you surprised at the level of technology changed from the very beginning, 15 years ago, when we started in that little lunchroom? And you were mentioning, as you were showing me some of the wiring that's going on here, and how whole bunches of groups of wires have now gone down, streamlined into. None of this really even existed at the time that we started this, did it?
No, and you know, Steve, you're still there. You go way back into broadcasting too, where there's multiple wires, and we actually started with a thing called carts.
Oh yeah, yeah.
We had carts. Then we went to cassettes.
And there was one time I was standing in a studio, and we had reel-to-reel players behind us. We had CD players, we had carts, and we had discs of vinyl. And all those were state-of-the-art at the time, but I knew that's going to shift away, and now you've gone to a whole nother level, of course. In radio, too. I mean, Jerry, you're not spinning the hits with vinyl anymore, or with CDs even.
Right. Yes. You know, I felt like Wolfman Jack at one time. You know, we were playing the music live. You were. Yeah. Taking phone calls in the studio. I mean, we were really rocking and rolling there for a while.
It is. And as I said earlier, if you go into our old control room, which is just over there a little bit, it's got wires everywhere. In our new control room, it's all been reduced down to what they call network cabling, and from that room to this room, it's fiber. Our engineers, honestly, Dan and Rick were so far ahead of me. I was so consumed by just getting it working and people and working and budgeting and all this stuff. When at one time we were dealing with tariffs.
Oh, you know, gosh, yeah.
And delays and equipment. I mean, it's quite a project. But anyway, our engineers were way ahead of the game in planning this thing out. And then today, as I was walking around early this morning, about 4:45 this morning, I go, how in the world did this all get put together?
Yeah, and speaking of which, did it get, now that it has been put together, has it pretty much aligned with what you thought this would turn out to be?
Far beyond.
No kidding.
Far beyond.
Really?
I was thinking the old control room being moved here.
Okay,
that was in my brain, because I thought that's what we were going to do. No, our engineers were way down the road on me on that one. Rick and Dan were so far down the road, and it didn't really hit me until about 2 days ago. And I go, well, how are you going to move the audio board? Well, we're just going to pick it up and move it. I said, what do you mean you're going to pick it up and move it? And he did. He went over there and he unplugged it. He took all these things. He picked it up and he went in there and plugged it in. He plugged the power in and plugged the network in. I said, that's it.
Oh, man.
And it works.
And as far as moving us to the other side of the building, logistically, this is probably one of the most difficult things about this. What inspired you to come over here? Why did you pick this? Was it just space? Because it is an ideal space for this studio.
You know, I don't know if I know the answer. I think we were fighting noise. And
Okay.
There's 2 maintenance hangars over there, and they'd fire up those airplanes, and it got so noisy you couldn't hardly. You couldn't do the show.
Oh, I'll never forget when you told me. I said, you said, we're moving over to the other side. I said, we're what?
Flipping the building.
What?
And then it just, we looked at it, and I thought, wait a minute, we need more than a TV studio. So, folks, when we do the open house, you come in here, this is not your average TV studio.
Right.
This isn't even close to what you see at the networks, or if you even go to another local television, you won't see this.
Yeah, yeah.
This is different. So, but yeah, it's far different than what I expected. So, but Steve, thank you. Good to see you, buddy. And
you know, let me mention one thing that I remember that you and I did, because I think Jerry was on the air at the time. You had ordered an antenna, and you and I went to get this antenna. Now, when you say antenna, people might think, well, that's a tower. No. It's like 10 feet, 12 feet, and it goes on a tower. And I remember when we opened up the box, and it wasn't that big of a box. It looked like about the size of a tripod, a little bit longer. And you said, well, I guess we're in TV now. We had no staff, no programming. We didn't know where the studios would be. And yet we were going to say, okay, radio audience, do you trust us? We want to put this together and build this TV station. And you had to have that belief as well. So I still remember seeing that antenna saying, yeah, I guess we're in the TV business. So we had nothing to do with getting anything on the air at that time.
Well, we literally put the TV station on the air for a month with a computer to save the license.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, and we threw it up we threw up this antenna, we threw it on the air. We were within days of losing the license if we didn't get it on the air. So we jerry-rigged this thing together. We got it on the air. We ran it for like 60 days. We turned it off and then came back and rebuilt it. And then we launched it. So, hey, listen, thank you all. Thank you, Steve. Good to see you, buddy. Good to see you healthy. And thank you to our viewers and listeners. Let me just say thank you, Lord, for your many blessings. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this team of people. Thank you for those who have been a part of this from the very beginning, and we just pray your blessing upon all. But thank you for viewers and listeners that see the vision, support the vision, and help us, Lord, to reach more people with the good news of Jesus Christ. We pray in Jesus' name. Amen.